So, my 3D printer was stolen 4 years ago. I pretty much forgot almost everything about 3D printing, but I want to get back into the hobby. As you can see here, I chose the Elegoo Centauri Carbon as my rebound printer. I don't know how easy it is to set up as a beginner, and that's why I'm making this video. I did some research, of course, and no matter where you're from, this is pretty much a small investment. However, I am aware about the printer review issues raised by the community. Just to be clear, I paid with this with my own money. You can be sure of that because this is my first video and nobody subscribed to me yet. If you want to, please do. The unboxing itself was pretty easy, but it's a lot heavier than I thought it would be. A lot of the reviews I saw said that this was a lighter printer compared to other Core XY printers, but I really have no point of reference. The printer that was stolen was one of the first models of Prusa. I think they call it the Prusa Mini. The Prusa Mini I could carry with one hand. The Centauri Carbon, no. Once you open the box, you're greeted by two manuals. One is more detailed and the other is a TLDR version of it. I recommend that you read both. The next is the top lid, which was covered by about an inch of foam all around. It's placed pretty securely, but I have read about some people having their printers arrive with broken top lids. So I'm pretty lucky with this one. Now, I don't know if it's good or bad for you, but there was a lot of tape on the printer itself, and the layers of foam protecting the other parts and tools made for great cushioning for the printer itself as well. Honestly, there was almost too much tape that I had to skip to when I got the printer out. Also, I had to tip it over and slide it out of the box to get it out. Again, I was greeted by more plastic and tape, but I appreciate the redundancies for safety, really. Like I said, this is a small investment for me, and the safer it is, the better. After taking out all the foam outside the printer, now you have to take out all the foam inside the printer. It's not really a hassle to take out. However, I did miss one for the poop chute, which I'll come back to later. Next comes the tools that are pretty much covered with the foam inside the printer. Again, it's all pretty secure. I kinda got excited, so I placed them on the side first and got to the printer as fast as I could. But here's what's in it. So here you have the oil for the rods, the needle for the nozzle, the Allen wrench and the screwdrivers, the spool holder, the USB, the nozzle cleaner, glue stick, the scraper blade, and of course, the free filament. Of course, here we have the touchscreen as well. The printer switch is somewhere there too. On a side note, when they took my Prusa Mini, they took all my filaments except for one. Still, it's a good thing that 3D printer companies are so generous with their free filaments. Like I said, I recommend reading both manuals. It's pretty detailed but easy to follow, so good job there. Half the battle is already taking out all the tape, but like I said, I appreciate the redundancies for safety. And here is my attempt at peeling off the protective plastic off the glass. Smooth as a rock. Here's another one, and it's like killing two birds with one stone. I'm the stone. There's some cardboard and a zip tie to secure the hot end, which I gracefully cut off here. I said gracefully, gracefully. There, you can see the foam that I forgot to take out of the poop chute. Here's the build plate, and its printable area is 256 by 256. And vertically or on the Z-axis, it's 256 as well. There are two sides, A and B. A is designed for multiple materials like PETG, PLA, ABS, while B is designed exclusively for PLA filaments. This is the part where a lot of people had trouble getting the tape off, so did I. I understand why it had to be secure, but you still need to be careful you don't damage the tape connector thing or whatever that is. Like I said, I'm a beginner, so if you know what that is, please let me know in the comments. So there, tape connector thing, safe. Now you can take the touchscreen and connect it to the printer itself. It's pretty easy if you lay it face flat first, then connect the tape thing. There we go, another peel. Please humor me. Moving on. At the left side of your printer, you'll see a hole where you insert the spool holder. Once you do, just twist and you're done. Thumbs up for a like. Grab one of the Allen wrenches that came with the printer and take out the screws with the big red arrow stickers pointing at it. There's one on your left side, there's one on your right side, and lastly, there's one on the back side of the build plate. Here, the hot end is held onto by magnets and some pegs. Just lift it up and it easily comes off. Like I said, I did my research first, so you have to take out the PTFE tube out of the wire chain. It helps feed the filament better to the hot end or to the extruder. After placing the switch inside the socket at the back of the printer, you can now set the system up. It takes a while and the firmware won't be updated, but once you're given the choice, pick your language of choice. The printer will make sure you've gotten the screws out a few times and it will prompt a self-check. Let it run and leave it alone for about 30 to 45 minutes. From my research, this is pretty long, but I don't really have a point of reference, so I'm okay. With the Prusa Mini, I remember all those hours of manually calibrating the machine, and if 45 minutes is all it takes for this machine to be calibrated, I'm all for it. By the way, it will get really noisy. Hopefully that's what it really sounds like, because again, I have no point of reference. You'll be taken to the home screen where you can control the lights, the Wi-Fi, the hot end temperature, the bed temps, and the fans. At the bottom there, you can see the chamber temps, and if you click the kind of filter icon on the left side, it brings you to the preparation settings, fan settings, and extruder settings. If you click on the folder icon, you can see the files saved to the printer, access your USB, or access your print history. The gear icon is the settings. You can access the network, printer information, and the camera for time-lapse videos. I suggest you turn it on right now. If you press the compass icon on the left side, it will take you to the calibration settings. But we've already done that. So now, all that's left is to print. First, let's load the filament, which is pretty straightforward. Just go to the extruder settings and press load while pushing the filament in. Now, press the folder icon and just select the benchy from the menu. Now that the printing's complete, we can take it out of the printer. Okay guys, I think something went wrong to the benchy. It sank. Just kidding, by the way. I'm sure you know by now that I printed a sunken benchy, and honestly, it's the best thing I've ever printed, even with the Prusa Mini. Overall, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon is pretty great right out of the box. My main point of reference is the original Prusa Mini about 3 or 4 years ago, but that's to be expected. Even if I did my research, I felt like I was going into this blind. But with the manual and the labels in the printer, it all just went smoothly. Again, the sounds were scary. But also, I have no point of reference how other printers calibrate themselves, so at least it's not the paper thing with the Z offset. I don't know. But look at this. It's a pretty great print. There's a bit of stringing, and there are a bit of steps. I think you call that steps, but the layer lines are pretty much invisible if you look at it at the right light. You can feel the layer lines, but you don't really see it that much. So it's a pretty good print. This is pretty much the best benchy I ever printed. Honestly, if I weren't recording this, trying to set up the camera and everything, I would probably be finished with the process in just about 2 hours. 1 hour for the setup of the printer itself, 30 minutes for the self-check, and 30 minutes for printing this benchy. With the camera, well, that took about 3 or 4 hours. Is the Elegoo Centauri Carbon easy to set up? Yes it is. Will it hold up? Well, we'll have to see about that, because already I'm seeing a lot of troubleshooting in subreddits, a lot of RMAs, a lot of hot ends and extruders being clogged up by filaments or something like that. So we'll have to see about how reliable it is. But that's about it. Peace.